Okay, we will call the Town of Lakeview regular session meeting for July 14th to order, and would you please join me for the pledge of allegiance? I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Since the mayor retired, we'll not put the comment.
Okay.
We gotta get
With the comment?
Yeah.
I was gonna say, you gotta just tell us.
Unless you prefer it that way. Okay, do we have any comments from anyone in the audience, public? No? Communications, comments, information items. There's an interesting map, I thought, on the new speed limits coming up. It's a little hard to read,
Yeah,
but
should see it without the color.
yeah. Well, it looks like we can go a little bit faster in parts of the area there. Except for Michael.
Well, we have,
Yeah.
there was this, and then there's another Eastern Oregon only provision in state law this year, which was the self-service gasoline after certain hours in
After 6
communities of
p.m., I think,
certain
yeah.
size. And I don't know, I'm not sure when that takes effect, so.
This apparently, there's a note on here, begins 3/1/16.
Yes.
So until then,
Yep.
watch
Yeah.
it.
Actually, it was an interesting discussion we were having at our ODOT meeting last Friday, and there's some that wonder whether, be careful what it is you ask for, because currently the law is 55 miles an hour is the basic rule. However, there's flexibility in that depending on the conditions, weather conditions, road conditions, traffic conditions and so forth, you could be maybe driving 70 miles an hour and still be considered to be safe, under the basic rule. However, this will be a speed limit, which means, in some people's interpretation, that means that's as fast as you can go. It doesn't matter what the conditions are. So,
Well, they give you a few months.
so anyway, just was part of the discussion.
Okay.
65 on most roads, 70 on the freeway from Dallas to Ontario.
I'm surprised they didn't change it on I-5.
I'm not slowing down from my 80 on I-5.
Well, that is the speed limit in some other states.
The map shows that 97 from Klamath Falls to the California border is still 55. However, ODOT is interpreting that as a mapping error or considering it to be all the way from the Dalles to the California border.
That might be interesting on 97, how many residents they have on there now.
Yeah.
We already got a police report from this past week of a BMW going 115 in Thomas Creek. The guy was arrested. So,
Whereabouts?
Thomas Creek Road?
Thomas Creek Road?
Yeah, 115 miles an hour in a BMW from San Francisco.
I think the county's built good roads.
Yeah.
Okay, we will move on to department reports, committee minutes, updates. No one from the police department is here.
Matt is in Klamath Falls at a training today.
Oh, okay. So,
Scott, 911 has already made an early exit for the Order of the Antelope preparations at Hard Mountain.
he could have left at 5.
I think he left yesterday.
All right. We do have Dennis here from the fire department. Any additions or comments on your month?
No.
Anderson Engineering.
Dennis, I have a question for you. On that property we were talking about earlier, if that were to be just bulldozed, is that something that the fire department could practice on? Or if before it was bulldozed, could they practice on that during this time of the year, or would they have to wait until better burning season?
I wouldn't send our guys in that.
Okay.
Turn out they're too expensive.
Okay.
Protect the neighboring property.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the rule right now, we just protect the neighboring properties, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's a little close to
It's a little
sides
close
of
to
it.
other houses, isn't
Yeah.
it, to really,
And I wouldn't,
Take a
wouldn't
chance.
intentionally do it.
yeah.
Okay. I told him I would ask.
No, I believe we need that incrimination here. Last year after I seen Ray's pictures.
Okay, Public Works with Mr. Wilkie, any additions or comments or new information?
Well, that little rain we had kind of slacked off on our water use, which was a good thing.
Yes,
Mhm.
I'm sure it did.
Last week in June, we were running 4 wells and we were just holding our own. So
Uh-huh,
we dropped about half of what we used.
really, that's good.
What did you say our water table came back, it was at?
It did, and on the last part of June, if you notice, it was at 97 feet, and we measured it again last week, and it shot up to 94 feet, so we shut off a few wells, and the water table came up a little.
Good.
Good. Okay, managers report, Ray?
I don't think I have anything to add at this point, it's just a few updates when we get to the other stuff.
Okay. Consent calendar. The payment approval report, April and May financials, June 23rd, 2015 work session minutes, June 23rd regular session minutes, and June 30th special session minutes. I did notice that, just a couple of little typos actually. Page 1 of the work session on June 23rd, on the first page there, very last sentence, we have
Draft to draft.
a draft to draft.
From the June 23rd work session, you said?
Yeah, the very last sentence on page 1.
Oh, I see, got it.
Yeah. And then on the last June 30th special minutes, this page 2, it says Sandy Wendell moved and Sharon Faulkner seconded the motion to approve resolution number,
Oh,
and there's no number, so just
It was
a,
to keep you guessing.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So just a couple of small corrections. Any other questions or corrections from the council? Accept the motion to approve the consent calendar?
I make a
Go ahead.
motion, we approve the consent calendar as presented,
With corrections.
with the corrections that you made.
I'll second that.
Okay, been moved and seconded that we approve the consent calendar. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, we have mayor, council, manager updates. Well, we have no mayor here, so, and I really have no updates to report tonight. Michael?
Yes, today I was involved in a licensure meeting with the new proposed agricultural teacher.
Oh.
Dr. Christy Reese.
Reese.
Yes.
Mhm.
And there was a fellow down from Bend with the ESD and all of that. And we were going over her qualifications and looking at some of the things that she has to do to become licensed to be a teacher.
Mhm.
She has 3 years to get like these 18 hours of courses and things like that together. Of course, her professional qualifications more than make her qualified to be,
Right.
at least do the animal aspect of it. And she's going to be doing some more things with apparently plant education, or that was one of the things that they brought up about plant development. But it looks like it's going to be a shoo-in for her. And I think she's going to be doing some very good things. She's going to be working part-time at the school until about noonish or 12:30 or something like that with the prep period, and then go to the vet's office from 1:30 to 5:30, 5 days a week.
Okay, so she will still be doing.
She will be doing her veterinary medicine.
Okay. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Last week, the Lakeview Community Partnership, which is the Main Street effort that's underway, had their organizational meeting or introduction to the community. And they introduced the 3 committees and had volunteers, a large contingency signing up for some positions to help out in the cause. And they're already doing some projects underway. There's 3 committees, and I'm sure they would take anyone who would like to sign up for any duties and any way that they could offer help and assistance in the program, because I think it will help our community in a big way. But they have design and promotion and economic development. Those are the 3 committees it's broken down into. There's also an organization, but the newly formed board, which is a 501c3 corporation, is able to handle the organizational end of it. So it's exciting to see what they're doing. I think that they're even incorporating into something that's on our agenda here in a few, which is the Occupy East Street. It's kind of going under a different name this year. And so a lot of things are happening, and there's already some projects that they've already got to rolling along. So it's good to see that there's a community effort and a lot of volunteers doing
This
that.
was the meeting that Ginger Castro was talking about at our last meeting.
That was coming up about the
Okay.
organizational, our introduction to the community.
Right, great, good to hear. We got things very well organized.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's all I have.
Ray?
Few things. Amy's going to next Tuesday attend an air quality coordinators meeting in Bend. DEQ regional air quality coordinators from Klamath and LaGrande and all over Eastern Oregon will meet and swap war stories, I'm sure. But no, discuss the upcoming programs, kind of debrief where things are across the state. Just kind of, the other things are really reminders, I guess. There's a PAC meeting agenda laying in the front of the table there. That's this coming Monday at noon, I believe, at Warner Creek. I'm not sure if you guys are giver or who's getting mailings.
I am, right now,
Are you?
I'm the
Okay.
PAC liaison. So I did get a notice in the mail.
Okay, Senator Wyden, I sent an email out that Senator Wyden is going to be in town this coming Saturday at 5:30 at the Senior Center for his yearly, I think sometimes he's more often than that, but town hall meeting in Lake County. The PPNL is doing their Watt Smart workshop on the 21st, that's a week from today, at 6 to 7:30 at Lake District Hospital Conference Room. And in conjunction with what Mike was talking about, the Lakeview Community Partnership Committee training meeting will be August 11th, which is a ways out still, but if people are interested in working on those committees that Mike mentioned, there's going to be a workshop for committee member training with Sherry Stewart from the Oregon Main Street organization from 5:30 to 8:30 on August 11th. I think that's it.
Okay, thank you. Okay, we will move on to old business. There is no old business. New business, we have the East Street closure, Occupy East Street, from Michael Beeson, who's requesting that we close East Street from Lake County Chamber to Umpqua Bank on August 8th, 2015, from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. for their 5th annual Occupy East Street celebration. The money raised goes to various causes, and it's always been very popular, so.
I attended their meeting last night in regards to now it's known as the Lakeview Street Fair and Lot Show, or car show, I guess, but it's an effort, I guess, other than just the East Street. I know there were other businesses who were represented from other areas in our community, so it's exciting that they are wanting to get involved in a community affair, and so we can incorporate it that way and everybody have a good time. There's a lot of activities. I think they've got a live band and music all through the day, and so a lot of other activities are planned. I think a lot of vendors, so it's a good cause.
It is a good cause, and we'll go.
August 8th, right?
August
Right.
8th, So, do we have approval for the closure?
Yeah, I recommend that we go ahead with the closure for this event.
How late do the closures go?
Well, this says from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. is what they're requesting.
Can we leave it open-ended because the the closure of the street is there's gonna be quite a few things set up, and I know that the band's supposed to play until 5:30, and I think for people to clear out all of their stuff, that might be a little difficult. And I know there was even talks of keeping the music going, perhaps with the little street dance that the community, Lakeview Community Partnership has been wanting to do. One of the organizations had said something the other night, I don't know if they planned on it, but we told those in the meeting last night that we would be around if they wanted to continue. So I would ask that we leave that kind of open-ended, just for none other than, we'll have to get our apparatuses out of there, because we're gonna be set up doing quite a bit downtown as far as our radio station. And so, you know, there's no way we can get it out in the middle of the street. So I would expect that there would be
So
others.
to dusk or 9 o'clock?
Or 9, I think, is appropriate. With an all-day affair already taking place, I think that's.
I agree.
I'll be well worn out by then. And it may not go on, I just know that there was an
Well, we
organization.
can
that,
say no
down-
later than 9 p.m.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think just to extend it. and-
Close down any time that you wish, but, you know, by 9 p.m. is-
You can leave a
deadline.
fire lane through there, Mike?
You know, there will be room, I'm sure. It
Well,
won't
I
be-
know in the past they have, but
Mhm.
every time it gets a little bit bigger, I just get a little bit concerned about being able to go through.
Well,
there
there's,
if we need to.
you know, I don't know, because there's no room on the sidewalks for vendors, and so with, I know of all the car, you know, there's not apparently one where the car show is, so the access is the other direction. You know, the car show, there's not access through there. It's filled in with cars down there, and they've got it blocked off with Al's van. So to let that part go that way, and, you know, I don't know, I guess we need to revamp it all.
Well, generally, when they have the cars there, they're parked against the curbs in the middle is.
Well, but then they have the
at
van
least
down
open
there, Al's
for,
van blocks that other end, and
Yeah.
you know, I don't know, I would think that, you know, with the, I know they mentioned 10 vendors with the little canopies over there, so we're gonna have a pretty good sized canopy there.
Haven't they been closing the side streets just past the alleys, so the alleys can
Still have access.
to the back sides of the
Right.
buildings, I believe.
So the US
That's been
Bank still
part
has
of it.
access to their customers, or customers have access to the front of their bank. That's-
Yeah, and also the alley behind Utley's and,
More than likely, if it's needed, it's gonna be an ambulance that's gonna go through there before.
Oh, I would think there would be plenty of room for an ambulance. I was thinking a big fire truck or something, and
I know how to get
like
to
with
the
ours,
fire truck.
with people down there like with ours, it would take maybe, you know, my son and I pushed it out of the way before for anything that would come up like that, and I'm sure with the people that'll be down there, if it's in the way of an emergency vehicle, it'll get pushed into that.
If when you talk to
the
them, have them
sidewalks.
keep that in their head.
Yeah, to make sure that there's some kind of access. No, it's important, I'm sure. That would be good to keep in mind.
Okay. So,
Do you need a motion?
I don't think we do need a
I
motion. We just-
I thought Michael made a motion.
That wasn't really a motion, I was just saying that I think that would be.
Well, go
a good thing
ahead.
to do. Okay, I'd like to make a motion that we do the road closure from the time that they suggested in the morning to no later than 9 p.m. in the evening for the Occupy East Street.
Second?
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay. And the other thing on the new business is the mayor vacancy. I think I'd like to see if we're willing to hold off on doing that until we have all of our counselors here, hopefully at our next meeting.
Is there more than one person that's interested in taking the position?
I don't
Okay. Then I would say that holding it off is probably acceptable.
I think, you know, everyone needs to think about it and decide what they want to do, or look at the charter, and the procedure is
Not much detail
not
there.
much detail to it, but we can make decisions then, I think, but I think it's good to have everyone here on it. If that's all right with.
We were gonna have an explanation of what procedures, does anybody have any idea what?
Yeah, I think that's what we need, and you know, the procedure isn't, well, I didn't.
No, I've read out of the charter, but it's
Yeah.
not addressed.
Yeah, and,
We-
you know,
What we need,
go ahead.
well, I was just gonna say, we have to declare a vacancy or accept the resignation of the mayor. It says, upon declaration by the council after the incumbent's resignation from the office, so. need
Well,
to-
we could do that today. I mean, I would make a motion that we accept the mayor's resignation. If that's done, I guess if somebody would second that, I mean, he's already said he wants to resign for compassionate reasons. I
Well,
would let him
yeah,
go.
and I guess then declaring a vacancy would be part of
So I
it.
think that is the
I would
first
make that
step that
motion,
needs to
and
happen.
if we declare that vacancy too, I don't see any reason to hold up on that.
Okay.
I'd make that motion to include both of those in.
Is there a second?
Oh, we'll second that.
All in favor? We have a motion and a second to accept the mayor's resignation and declare a vacancy. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Could we also have discussion on it? I would like to mention that before the mayor had decided, he had announced in the last election that he was not going to run. And then I announced that I was going to run, but then the mayor decided elsewise and I stepped aside. And I know I've told other councilors and all that I would like to see the community move forward with the many projects that are on the horizon, some that I've been involved in and we've all been involved in with many things that are going on in our community. But I think for continuity's sake, if at all possible, I plan on running, as I've told you, in the next election in 2016. But I just would like to let all of the councilors know that I still have that desire to serve as the mayor of our community, as I had a couple of years ago when the mayor decided that he would run after saying he was not going to. But we're in that situation, and so with the continuity, unless somebody wants to step forward and say they're going to run in 2016 along with me, then I would say we need to move forward as we had discussed in our last meeting, that the mayor's position should not stay vacant too long.
Well, I don't think that it needs to stay vacant too long, but I think I'd like to have all the councilors here that.
Oh, no, I'm not asking you to
Oh.
go forward today. I'm just
Oh, okay.
letting it be known that I
Yeah.
still have that desire, because I
I-
didn't hear anybody
okay.
else announcing that they had the desire, and I just, you were contemplating when I was doing this.
Yeah.
And you
And
said
I-
you didn't want to continue, so I just, for continuity's sake, we'd be in the, at the end of this term, we'd be in the same boat if you went ahead and decided to serve out or to at least seek it through nomination or appointment or whatever we did right now. But then if you, as you told me yesterday, you didn't feel you wanted to continue
I
at that
don't,
point with
well.
things that you said were concerns to you.
Yeah, well, I wasn't ready to quite make a big announcement, but.
Well, I didn't know you, like I said, I didn't know until
I just,
yesterday when I called
I
to
just
tell you
think that
I
I've
was
served for a
saying
number of years
to
and
reaffirm.
possibly that, if I would not run again in November.
Well, and that's all I was saying is I would hope that we could have a little continuity. We were kind of disrupted right now with the mayor's resignation after he had committed for 4 more years. And so to keep that continuity going for the new projects that we've got going in the community, I would ask that you would consider me for mayor in that position next time around.
Okay, and I have, kind of thought really hard about serving out the rest of this term and I'm pretty positive about doing that.
Serving out the term as councilor? or-
No, as mayor until next year.
So you automatically move up into that, or? That's what I'm wondering, just because you want to do that, is that the process? I don't know.
No, it's not.
Or does somebody appoint you other than the council? I don't know.
Well, that's what
Did
we
you
need,
receive an invitation
that's
to
what
do
as
that?
that's what as a council we need to
Well, that's,
discuss.
right.
And so I
Well, we
think,
are a council, and we can discuss that right now. It's on
Yeah.
our agenda. It's an open item on the agenda. Discussion can take place, and we can certainly reiterate that the next meeting. But to be sitting in the cold of wondering what is going to happen to our community as far as leadership, there's a lot of roles that the mayor plays, and that's representation out in the community at the different events and functions that go on. And I'm willing to fulfill that on the town's behalf. So that's all I was saying. And so, okay.
Michael, anything to add?
I think we should wait until Sharon is here at that time. I do know Michael's interest, and I have told him in private that I would support him and his nomination. So I will say that here in public too, because I had also talked to you and You know, my problem is I think you both do a good job. So I think it has more to do with the desire. I have had, after talking and thinking, some questions concerning the one meeting that you walked out on, that kind of, you know, that bothered me, and bothers me more as I think about it. Because I think that an even keel is so important in this position. So I would like to have at least another 2 weeks to think,
Okay.
if that's okay.
Sure. And I would make mention of the meeting I walked out of was a work session.
Yeah, it was.
Surely was. And it had to do with a very controversial subject.
Yeah, oh yeah, I remember that.
So I would make mention that that's the only time that I've really missed a meeting. I've
Yeah.
been here at pretty much everything else, and I'm always committed to attending functions throughout our community, so.
Yeah.
Okay. Any
So I'll
other-
put it back on the agenda for the 28th.
Yes.
Sounds good.
Want to take a public comment real quick? Knowing that this was on the agenda, I do have a letter of interest to serve in your vacancy, not for mayor, obviously, but, you know, plenty of qualified people to do that, but I do have a letter, and it's, you know, just really, you know, I've been here for 4 years in the community. I resigned as a Burn City Councilor when I took the position as Lake County Planning Director, and happy to get more involved, and this seems like a great way to do so. I serve on a couple other boards, like, you know, Little League Board and the MAC Club, but really, government's my interest, and this is somewhere I'd like to help serve the community in any way I can, so I'll give this to you guys. Look out for that.
Good to hear you.
Thank you, Darrell.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, we'll do the mayor thing and then
Yeah.
move forward from that.
Just didn't want to pass me by as.
I understand.
Thank you for your interest.
Yeah.
Okay, any other questions, comments? Okay, we'll close the meeting at